Concept Videosports.com presents Week 3 of the IHS AA High School football season, when the Hobart Brickies travel to the Boneyard to take on the Griffith Panthers in what is expected to be an exciting contest to open Northwest Crossroads Conference play in 2015. The Panthers haven't had a winning season since 2011 when Russ Radke was at the helm, and that year they went 8-4 and lost to Highland in the first round of sectional play. Their last conference win was back in 2012 when they defeated Highland under coach Jim Pickett. The Griffith Panthers feel good about themselves, and it all comes down to first-year head coach Ben Gefford and his staff. Gefford, a 2007 Griffith graduate, had assistant coaching stints at Highland and Munster before coming to Griffith and spending a year as defensive coordinator under Jim Pickett. The Panthers come into tonight's action 0-2, but in each of those two losses, especially the 28-27 loss to Wheeler, they came away feeling good about themselves and ready to take the next step. The Hobart Brickies under Ryan Turley in his fifth season had a comfortable win over the West Side Cougars to start things off, then stubbed their toe last weekend against a talented LaPorte team who came in firing on all cylinders. The Brickies also come into this game needing a victory, but they also realize the Panthers have confidence in themselves, and it's not going to be a walk in Central Park. For those of you who don't know, the Griffith Panther family recently lost one of their own when Sonny Nunez, a Griffith High School freshman and member of the Panthers wrestling and football teams, tragically passed away in July. And in his memory, there was a moment of silence, and each team on the initial kickoff will only field 10 players. Next up, an exciting Northwest Crossroads Conference clash when Troy Cullen and the Griffith Panthers play host to Monty White and the Hobart Brickies. New Concept Videosports.com will again this year offer all of our videos for free download 2 weeks following their posting. Just click on the Vimeo button bottom right when it appears and follow the instructions. These free downloads are made possible by our participating sponsors.
J&J's Pizza Shack of Northwest Indiana has a variety of dinners and sandwiches on their menu to satisfy any appetite. But for the best pizza in the region, featuring the kitchen sink, it's J&J's Pizza Shack and their 7 Northwest Indiana locations. Check out their Hobart location and their new dine-in facility, and watch sports videos from New Concept Video Sport by Oak Partners Wealth and Retirement Planning in Crown Point and Valparaiso. They provide comprehensive investment consulting services with the goal of increasing their clients' wealth and protecting their financial future. Tune into their radio program, Making Finance Personal, every Monday morning at 9 on WJOB. Once a Brickie, always a Brickie. The history, tradition, and pride of Hobart High School football. Presented by the Regional Radio Sports Network, the Indiana Football Digest, the School City of Hobart, and New Concept Videosports.com. Order your copy and video today at HobartBrickieFootball.com. Mayor Brian Snedeker, the City of Hobart and Special Events Director Nikki Lopez invite you to come on down to the Clock Tower September 8th through the 13th and watch the Indianapolis Motor Speed Club as over 300 contestants race their boats at over 70 miles per hour.
This is Mayor Brian Snedeker wishing the Brickies a successful and winning season.
Antonio Del Grosso will kick off for the Bricks to open play on this football Friday, and he got all of it. And making the reception a foot from the goal line was Panther Jacob Cottrell. And the Griffith Special Teams unit has just stunned the Hobart Brickies and their fans. The extra point attempt was blocked by Bricky Jordan Clompton, and he was able to soften the blow just a bit. So with 14 seconds gone in this game, Griffith will be kicking off to Hobart, leading by 6, and doing the honors for the Panthers will be Alex Seeberger. The boot was fielded by Monty White at the 10, and he carried to the 32 before being dropped by the Panthers, and the Brickies will start right there offensively. And taking the snaps, at least early on for Hobart, will be junior Michael Mickey Wolf, who came in for relief of Jared Zanola last week. Nick Ray got the call, and he excelled up the middle and carried inside Panther territory down to the 43-yard line, and a good start offensively for Hobart. On first down, it was Elijah Mercado's turn for about 3 yards on the carry, before being tripped up initially by Jarrett Lipsky, then dropped by a host of Panthers. So the Bricks will have a 2nd and 7 from the 40, but before the snap, a procedure call on Hobart will push them back to the 45, and a 2nd and 12 next up for Hobart. On the snap, Mickey Wolf rolled to his right, then fired a pass intended for Dakota Bach that was ruled incomplete, and a 3rd and long next up. The 3rd down snap flew over the head of the Bricky play caller, and luckily he was able to recover the ball but lost 15 yards on the play, pushing them back inside their own territory at the 41-yard line and a Hobart punt. For the Brickies, it was like deja vu from a week ago, when on the attempted Luke Bajelic punt, it was blocked by Marcus Mersenik, then recovered at the 27-yard line by the Panthers, and the Brickies continue to shoot themselves in the foot. On the first offensive snap of the game for the Panthers, quarterback Troy Cullen called his own number, and with his forward progress picked up about 5 yards on the carry before being stacked up by the Bricky defense. Then on 2nd and 5 from the Bricky 23-yard line, it was Panther quarterback Troy Cullen on the keeper again. But this time it was Bricky Gio Galloway making the defensive stop for a loss of 1 on the play. Continuing out of the shotgun, Troy Cullen took the snap, then fired a quick out intended for Jacob Cottrell that was off the mark, and a Griffith 4th down coming up. So with the ball on the Bricky 24, the Panthers will try a 4th down attempt. On the snap, Troy Cullen dropped back, then waited for Josh Miller coming out of the backfield to clear the first wave of defenders. Then on the screen, Cullen hit Miller in stride, and he carried down to the 11, and a big 1st and 10 for the Griffith Panthers. Then on the first down play, the ball was handed to Colin Sutton for a gain of maybe a yard on the play, before being dropped by the Brickies defense. Then on 2nd down, the ball was given to Jacob Cottrell, and on the end around was tripped up by Jared Zanola for a minimal gain, bringing up a 3rd and about 7, and the Bricks need a defensive stop. Next, it was Troy Cullen again, rolling to his left, then taking it downfield where he was run out of bounds at the 9. And a 4th down decision for head coach Ben Geffert. So the Panthers decided on a field goal attempt of about 26 yards, and again doing the honors will be junior Alex Seeberger. The kick was up and through the uprights. So with 6:21 remaining in the first quarter, the Panthers lead the Brickies by 9. The Griffith kickoff was caught at the 15-yard line by Monty White, and he carried to the 34 where he was dropped by a host of Panthers. And that's where the Bricks will try to restart their engines. On the first down snap, the ball was handed to Isaiah Gransberry, and with some nice up-front blocking, reached the secondary. Then a burst of speed later, and he was able to pick up a good chunk of real estate inside Panther territory, down to the 49-yard line, and a needed Brickie first down. Next, it was Nick Ray for 3 yards on the first down carry. But before the next snap, another procedure call on Hobart moved the ball back to just inside Brickie territory at the 49, and a 2nd and 12 coming up. Mickey Wolf took the snap, then looked to his left, but his primary receiver was covered. He then dumped it off to Jordan Clompton, who was tripped up almost immediately by Tavian Walker for a loss on the play. Then on 3rd and 13 from their own 48-yard line, a pass attempt from Mickey Wolf to Jared Zanola that was a bit strong, and a punting situation for Hobart. Luke Bajelic was able to get the punt off this time, and it was downed at the Panther 30, and that's where the home team will take over offensively, still leading by 9. On first down, a quick Troy Cullen pass intended for Jacob Cottrell that was incomplete. Next, the ball was handed to the second man through Josh Miller, who picked up about 2 yards on the carry, before Jared Zanola put a lick on the Panther back, and a 3rd and 5 coming up. Then on the snap, Troy Cullen dropped back and unloaded a shot downfield intended for Joey Martocchio. That was picked off by Monty White, and the Brickies are back on offense with 3:08 left in the first period. So the Brickies will take over from their own 46-yard line. On the snap, it was Nick Ray and a fine run inside Panther territory down to the 39-yard line. Next, the ball was handed to Elijah Mercado, and he too had a nice carry. But a holding penalty on the Bricks will negate the run, and Hobart will now have a 1st and 20 from just inside the midfield stripe at the 49-yard line. Then on the snap, a quick out to Monty White for a couple, and a 2nd and long next up. Then on the second down snap, Mickey Wolf dropped back, but coming through the line on a blitz was Jared Cottrell, but he was picked up nicely by Nick Ray, giving the Brickie play caller time to get it out to Jordan Clompton, and a gainer down to the Panther 40, and a 3rd and 11 next up for Hobart. Next, it was a Mickey Wolf bullet to Dane Hume, and a Brickie first down at the 27, and Hobart is starting to come alive late in the first. On first down, the ball was handed to Isaiah Gransberry for a 5-yard gain on the play, down to the 22, and that'll be the last play of the quarter, with the score, the Griffith Panthers 9 and the Hobart Brickies nothing.
You know that friends are a major part of your life.
But sometimes, even with close friends, you may not notice that things aren't perfect on the inside.
There's more to depression than just being sad.
If you notice that your friends are more withdrawn than usual or seem to be making poor decisions, they might be depressed.
Depression is one of the risk factors that can lead to suicide.
I need you to talk.
Talk to a teacher, a trusted adult, or visit deschutes.org/suicide.
Blythe's Athletics in Valparaiso, whose team has been serving your team since 1959, is a leader in athletic apparel and equipment sales. Whether it's off the rack or customized to your specifications, Blythe's has the products and staff to serve you best. Trophies, embroidering, screen printing, athletic shoes, anything you're looking for, you'll find at Blythe's. Visit them today at teamblythes.com, where the athlete shops.
To open the second period of play, the Brickies will have a 2nd and 5 from the 22. On the snap, it was Nick Ray on a nice run for about 6 yards, and a Hobart first down at the 15-yard line. Next, it was Kelvin Lebrecht for about 4 yards on the carry. Then it was back to Nick Ray, and he fought his way for a tough yard and a big 3rd and 5 next up for the visitors. On third down, it was back to LeBrecq, who was stopped initially, but he kept his feet moving and was able to pick up a big first down at the 5. And now the Brickies are threatening and a first and goal coming up. It was back to LeBrecq, and he's down to the 1-yard line. Finally, on second down, it was a quarterback sneak. And with his second effort, Mickey Wolf is in for the first Brickie score of the evening. The Antonio Del Grosso extra point attempt was good. So with 9:18 left in the first half, the Griffith Panthers lead the Hobart Brickies by a pair. The Del Grosso kickoff was caught, then dropped and picked up by Tavian Walker, and he was able to move the ball to the 22-yard line. But on the play, a Panther personal foul penalty will move the ball back to the 10. And that's where Griffith will take over. Then on the first down snap, it was a quick out from Troy Cullen to Jacob Cottrell, and a Panther first down at the 21-yard line. Then it was Josh Miller's turn, but the swarming Brickie defense dropped the Griffith back for no gain on the play. Next, it was Tavian Walker on the carry for about a yard. On 3rd and 9 from the 22, quarterback Troy Cullen rolled to his left, then fired a pass to Colin Sutton. But before he could gather it in, the Griffith back was hit by Brandon James, and a Panthers punt coming up. The Alex Seeberger punt went out of bounds at the Brickie 45. So Hobart will have good field position to start off this next drive, trailing the hosts by 2. On first down, it was Isaiah Gransberry on the carry for 6, before being dropped by Panther Sam Renton and Josh Miller. So from just inside the 50 at the Griffith 49, the Bricks will face a 2nd and 4. This time it was Wolf dropping back and hiding the ball well, then a nice block giving the quarterback time to find Nick Ray on the reception, and a Brickie first down at the Panther 44. Then it was back to Isaiah Gransberry for a tough 3 yards on the carry. It was back to Nick Ray for 6, and a 3rd and 1 coming up for Hobart. But on the 3rd down snap, the ball was handed to Nick Ray, and there almost immediately was Gaddafi Coleman, and a loss of 3 on the carry. Now the Brickies are staring at a 4th and 4 from the 38, and a huge 4th down play at this juncture. The ball was then handed to Calvin LeBrecq, and fighting as hard as he could was dropped just short of the marker, and the Panthers will take over on downs. On the first down snap for the Panthers, an option that Troy Cullen decided to keep, and he picked up 4 on the play and a 2nd and 6 coming up. Then a pitch to Josh Miller, but the quickness of Jared Zanola stopped the back for no gain, and now the Panthers are looking at a big 3rd down play with the clock continuing to run. Then on 3rd and a long 6, another quick out, this time to Jared Cottrell, and on a nice first move was able to carry the ball up to the 47, and a Griffith first down with 2.5 minutes left in the half. On first down, it was a Troy Cullen pass, and it was right back to Jared Cottrell, who made the leap at the Hobart 40, then hauled it in, and fought his way to the Brickie 36, and plenty of time left on the clock. But before the next snap, a procedure penalty on Griffith will move the ball back to the 41, and the Panthers will try again, this time a 1st and 15. Next, it was Troy Cullen on the keeper, But fighting off the block, then dropping the Griffith play caller for a loss of 1 on the play was Bricky Dakota Bach. So then on 2nd and 16, Troy Cullen rolled to his left and hit Joey Martocchio with a short pass. And he was able to get back to the original line of scrimmage at the 36, and a 3rd and 10 next up for Griffith. Before the 3rd and 10 snap, another procedure call will move the ball back to the 41 and a 3rd and 15. Next, it was Cullen again, rolling to his left, and his target this time, Gaddafi Coleman for a short gain, bringing up a 4th and 12 for the Panthers. Then on a play that the Brickies ran successfully last week didn't go as well for the Griffith Panthers, and the Bricks will have the ball with seconds left in the half from their own 41-yard line. Then on the final play of the half, a mishandled snap, a Panther tackle, and time has run out in the first half of play. With the score, the Griffith Panthers 9 and the Hobart Brickies 7.
Located in Maryville, the law office of Roy Dominguez offers compassionate, caring representation in personal injury and criminal defense. If you or someone you love has been injured, you can be sure the law office of Roy Dominguez will help alleviate some of the difficulties you are facing. Attorney Roy Dominguez wishes all Northwest Indiana athletes the best of luck this season.
Liberty Chemicals Maintenance and Sanitation LLC is a master distributor of American-made bulk chemical cleaning and maintenance products for educational, municipal, institutional, and food service customers. With Liberty, you can expect great products, great service, and competitive prices every time. Visit their website today at libertychemicalsllc.com to check out their product line. The Alex Seeberger kickoff to restart this game was grabbed at the 10-yard line by Brandon James, and he carried to the 39 and a good return, and that's where Ryan Turley's team will start offensively, trailing their opponents by only a pair. On first down, it was Calvin Lebrecq for 2 yards on the carry. It was right back to Lebrecq for 3 more yards before being dropped by Jamal Johnson. Then on 3rd and 5, it was Mickey Wolf rolling out. He then set himself and fired a bullet intended for Monty White. But nice Jacob Cottrell coverage, and the Brickies will have to punt. Then another Hobart miscue on the punt attempt. The snap was a bit high and slipped through the fingers of Luke Bajelic, who finally was able to pick it up at the 27 before being run out of bounds by Panther Jacob Cottrell. The officials set the ball at the Hobart 28-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will take over. On first down, it was Troy Cullen who optioned the ball to Jacob Cottrell, and he was upended by Monty White for no gain on the play. Next, it was Gaddafi Coleman straight up the middle, powering his way inside the red zone down to the 16-yard line. Then at 1st and 10, another quarterback option, this time to Josh Miller, and he took it in for the Griffith touchdown, and a well-executed series by the Panthers.
The extra point attempt was wide left, so with 9:19 left in the third, the Brickies trail the Griffith Panthers 15-7. The Panther kickoff was caught at the 6-yard line by Brandon James, and just as he was getting ready to switch gears, the kicker Alex Seeberger tripped him up, and possibly a touchdown-saving tackle. But a nice run back and decent field position coming up for the Bricks. From their own 39-yard line and with 9:13 left to play in the third, the Bricks will have a first down. On the snap, Mickey Wolf on a 5-step drop got set, then fired a deep bomb down the far sidelines intended for Monty White, who was covered by Jacob Cottrell. But White made the leap and beat the Panther defensive back, but Cottrell was able to hold on to the Hobart senior and drag him down at the 6-yard line. And the biggest play thus far for the Hobart Brickies. But after the play, a flag on the Panthers sideline moved the ball halfway to the goal, so the Brickies will have a first and goal from the 3-yard line. On the snap, the ball was handed to Isaiah Gransberry, and he picked up about 1.5 yards on the carry. Then it was Nick Ray in for the score, and the Hobart Brickies are keeping it close. The Bricks decided to see if they could tie this game by going for 2. Mickey Wolf rolled to his right, then looked to his left and tossed it into the end zone. But the pass fell incomplete. So with 8:13 left in the third, the Griffith Panthers lead 15-13. The Del Grosso kickoff was down at the 15-yard line. So the Panthers will take over right there, leading by a pair. On first down, it was Josh Miller for 3 yards on the carry. Then it was back to Miller on the toss, and he carried to near the 22 for the Panthers. But on the play, a Panther holding penalty will move the ball back to the 8, and a 2nd and 17 coming up. Then on a big Griffith play, Troy Cullen faked the quick out, then hit Josh Miller on the slant, and he carried up to the 36 and a Griffith first down. On first down, another quarterback option to Josh Miller, but this time it was read perfectly by Brandon James, and he hit Miller for a loss of 1 on the play. Then on 2nd and 11, Troy Cullen dropped back and hit Jacob Cottrell, who was in motion. And one quick move later, he picked up the yardage needed, and another Griffith first down. Next, it was a quick pass to Zach Thomas, but he couldn't grab the ears on the ball on the 2nd and 10 next up. Then it was back to Josh Miller, who was stopped in his tracks, but was able to pick up about 3 yards on the play. Then on 3rd and 7 from near the 49, a quarterback keeper for a short gain, and a 4th and 4 coming up. Then a couple hard counts and a Griffith punt. The punt was down at the 10, so the Brickies will have possession, still trailing by only 2. On first down, Wolf handed the ball to Nick Ray. and he blew through the middle of the line and quickly into the secondary, and was able to carry the ball all the way up to the 48, and a Hobart first down. Then it was Wolf to Monty White for 6 yards on the completion, and a 2nd and 4 next up. Next, it was Isaiah Gransberry for a first down run, down to the Griffith 41-yard line. Then some confusion with the offense and a Bricky timeout. So with 1:56 left in the third, the Bricks will try again. Wolf took the snap and fired one over to Brandon James in a play that never developed, but a pickup of 4 yards on the play nevertheless. Then it was Kelvin the Brick carrying down to the 30, and another Bricky first down. Next, it was a pitch to Elijah Mercado, but the swarming Griffith defense dropped the Hobart back for a loss of 2 on the play. And that will end the third period with the Griffith Panthers still leading the Hobart Brickies by 2.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tim Mullally.
And I'm Dr. Lisa Mullally.
We're the founding members of Indiana Sports and Medical Science Institute out of Crown Point, Indiana.
We offer both family practice services and sports medicine services. If you're in need of a sports medicine physician or just a family doctor, give us a call today. We have same-day appointments. We hope to hear from you.
The Brickies will open the final period with a 3rd and 12 from the 32-yard line. On the snap, Wolf took the 3-step drop, then fired one over the middle intended for Dakota Bach that was incomplete. But a flag on the play and interference call on the Panthers will move the ball down to the 17-yard line, and Hobart will have a 1st and 10 inside the red zone, trailing by 2. On first down, it was Isaiah Gransberry for a couple yards on the carry. Then on 2nd down, Mickey Wolf laid one up perfectly in the corner of the end zone intended for Jordan Clompton. But Sam Renton looked like he might have gotten a finger on the ball, and a missed Hobart scoring opportunity. Next, it was Wolf again, rolling to his left, but right there coming through untouched was Tavian Walker, who was able to grab the Bricky quarterback and wrestle him to the ground. So with the ball back to the 24-yard line, Ryan Turley decided on a Del Grosso 41-yard field goal attempt that was just off the mark, but a nice try by the Bricky kicker. So with 10:41 left in this ballgame, the Panthers are still clinging to a 2-point lead and will take over possession from their own 20-yard line. On first down, it was Josh Miller taking the handoff, but he was stacked up for a loss of 1 on the play when Jordan Clompton beat his blocker, then dropped the Panther back. Then a quick out to Jacob Cottrell, and he picked up some nice yardage in a Panther first down at the 38-yard line. Next, it was Gaddafi Coleman up the gut for 6 yards on the play. Again, it was a quarterback option, and this time it was Josh Miller, but he was run out of bounds by Brickies, Monty White, and Jared Zanola for a loss of 1. So the Panthers face a 3rd and 7. On the snap, Troy Cullen rolled to his right, then threw a short pass back the other way to Tavian Walker coming out of the backfield. And he picked up a big first down for the Panthers inside Bricky territory at the 49-yard line. This time it was Travian Walker on the carry for maybe a yard and a half before being stood up by the Hobart defense. Then on a 2nd and long 8 to go, it was a quarterback draw that picked up about 5 yards, and another big 3rd down play coming up, and the clock continuing to run. Then on the play, it was Gaddafi Coleman getting the call, and he picked up about 8 yards, and yet another Panther first down, and Griffith is in no hurry. On first down, another quarterback keeper for about a half yard on the play. Next, on the end around, the ball was handed to Jacob Cottrell for 4 yards, and a nice Monty White open field tackle. It was right back to Gaddafi Coleman down to the 30, and another big 4th down attempt coming up with time becoming a factor, and the Hobart Brickies definitely needing a stop. Then a pass intended for Joey Martocchio fell incomplete, but a couple penalty flags have the Brickies with their backs against the wall, and they are now facing a Panthers first down inside the red zone at the 15-yard line, with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in this contest. Again, it was Troy Cullen on the keeper for 3 yards on the carry, and the clock continuing to move. Then the ball was handed to Jacob Cottrell, and one quick move later, and the Panthers have an 8-point lead and can basically put it away with the extra point attempt. Then on the extra point attempt, a fake kick. Then a pass from Cullen to Tavian Walker, who was ready to cross the goal line. But a huge defensive stop by Jordan Clompton and Nick Ray, denying the conversion. And the Brickies are not dead yet. So with 3:47 left, the Brickies have plenty of time to get right back in this one. The Griffith kickoff was scooped up by Brandon James at the 17, and he was determined to have a good run back, and he did just that, carrying the ball to near the midfield stripe with plenty of time on the clock. Then on first down, the ball was handed to Kelvin LeBrecq. But before he could take his first step, Marcus Marcenic was right there, dropping the Brickie back for a loss of 4 yards on the play. On second down, it was Mickey Wolf avoiding a defender, then sending a pass downfield intended for Monty White that was a bit strong, and a long 3rd and 14 next up. But before the next snap, another penalty on the Brickies will push them back even further, and a 3rd and 19 coming up. Next, the play of the game for the Brickies. With an empty backfield, quarterback Griff stepped back, then launched a bomb downfield that found the arms of Dakota Bach, and he's down to the 16-yard line. And all of a sudden, folks, a concerned Panther crowd. Then on first down, it was Kelvin LeBrecq with a 3-yard run down to the 13-yard line. Then it was Elijah Mercado for 5, bringing up a 3rd and 2. Finally, it was Nick Ray powering his way up the middle. And all of a sudden, we are a conversion away from a tied ball game. Then it all came down to this. The ball was handed to Isaiah Gransberry, who picked up a head of steam, but was stopped short of the goal, and the Griffith Panthers have retained the lead. And if they could run out the clock in the final 1 minute and 13 seconds, they can have a share of the Northwest Crossroads Conference lead. Then the onside kick was grabbed by Marcus Marcenik, and this ball game is just about over. Then after a few knees, this ball game is history. The Brickies came into this contest expecting a win, and with none of the so-called Northwest Indiana sports experts picking the Panthers, they just came in with a lot of confidence and passion and came away with the victory. Their first under head coach Ben Geffert. New Concept video sports reporter Frank Rokas caught up with Panther quarterback Troy Cullen and head coach Ben Geffert. For New Concept, videosports.com, this is Bob Guerrero.
All right, I have senior quarterback Troy Cullen with me of the Griffith Panthers. Congratulations, Troy, on a nice win, your first win of the season. How does it feel to get that first win under your belt?
Oh, it feels great. It feels great to win it for Coach, for his first win of his career. It feels great to win it for the other seniors on my team and the other teammates, building the program, making it better.
How does it feel as a team when you get an opening kickoff like Cottrell running it back? How does it give you guys a big boost and feel like you could really win this game now?
Definitely. Makes us feel like we're stronger, and then that we have more heart than everybody else. That we'll come out and that nobody believed in us, so it looked like, boom, we can win this, baby.
You feel like you got to take the reins and lead this team to not only a conference championship, but maybe even further than that?
Yeah, but I have other seniors like Marcus Marcinek, Jacob Trell, Colin Sutton, all on my side that are leading this team too. We have a lot of leaders down there. We have a junior in Josh Miller. We have a sophomore, Tavian Walker, who's an amazing leader who helps us out a lot.
Big raucous crowd here tonight. That had to give you guys a big boost as well, right?
Oh, definitely. They came on our side. The senior section was loud and proud. Man, I'm so glad right now we got the victory.
Well, you worked up a big sweat. Congratulations on a nice win. You earned it tonight. Thank you, Troy, for the interview.
Thank you. I want to say something about Sonny Nunez, one of our fellow teammates who committed suicide. That this was hit for him. That we wish he was here and on the field together.
There was a moment of silence, and then each team started with only 10 players in his honor.
Definitely, because if he was here, he'd be definitely starting varsity right now. He's a great athlete.
You guys did him well and did him proud tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have winning coach Ben Geffert with me of the Griffith Panthers. Coach, a nice win, your first home game of the season, first conference win, a thing that this team did not even have last year.
This might be 2 or 3 without a conference win, but I mean, you can't ask for a better win at home versus the Hobart Brickies, really try to ignite that rivalry again.
And you guys had Jacob Cottrell ignite the crowd and your team right off the bat with that 99-yard kickoff return.
That young man's a player, and I knew he might have had a lot of touches his first 2 weeks, but I knew it was a matter of time before we saw him blazing on the sidelines.
I know I read where you were talking about you want to stress leadership on the team and forget the past. Seems like that's working at least for the first game anyway.
No, absolutely. And we've been the first 2 games we were in it the fourth quarter. We win the game and we stress having an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter because that's a huge step from past seasons. And first 2 weeks we went up there and it was only a matter of time before we learned how to finish the game and actually win. And tonight was the night we took that big step forward.
And it's definitely with that big stand on that. A 2-point conversion there, your defense pulled through.
Yeah, last week we got stood up on a 2-point conversion, and this week, we stood them up on a 2-point conversion. So I'm glad one went our way this week.
I got to ask you, how does it feel to coach a team that you once played for?
The amount of pride I have for the program and the school and the town is unmatched, and I loved. It was hard to see what the team had become, and you don't take more pride in that being here and watching it to what it's going to become.
Well, you had a great crowd tonight, opening night. I know you're celebrating with your family. You got a lot to celebrate tonight and maybe a lot more games yet here in the future. So congratulations, and we'll see you down the road.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.